I don't want to jinx it, but we might be getting a balance patch for Demon Slayer. This isn't just me saying, I hope there's a balance patch. No, there's a real chance right here. Now, I can't say much about it, but someone that's in a good position to make things happen has asked me to put together a document with community feedback on what the community would like to see fixed. What balance changes would they like to see? Everything. Now, again, this does not confirm a balance patch. Understand that Demon Slayer Hinokami Chronicles is under the control of a lot of different companies. There's Sega, there's CyberConnect 2, there's Aniplex. All of them must come together for anything to happen in this game, including a balance patch. I'm talking to one person, but this person knows who they need to talk to make things happen, and this one person really wants a balance patch to happen. And so instead of putting together a document of buffs and nerfs that I think the community would like to see, I actually worked together with a lot of you guys. Turns out a lot of this work has already been done by Nikito the One. He brought together some of the pro players from North America and Europe and put together this document with a bunch of balance changes. The thing is, I don't think we should send something like this. This document has specific buffs and specific nerfs that the community would like to see, but the thing is, we don't have a way to playtest this. There's a chance we might break the game more than fix it, and without a chance to playtest it, there's no going back after this happens. It's also a bit disrespectful, I think, to just say, yo, buff this dash speed, nerf this range. I think it maybe shows a lack of trust in the development team, and I don't think that's what we mean to do. So using this document as a starting point, I got together with a bunch of top players from Europe. We've drafted the document that I'll be sending to my guy, and I'm about to show you everything that's in this document. Now, the whole thing starts with a little intro paragraph, a letter to the developers saying thank you for their hard work and introducing the document that we're about to read. I'm gonna skip this part. The letter is not to you. You're here for the balance changes. Now, one thing they asked me to do was not only give them character-specific buffs and nerfs, but also general buffs and nerfs to the whole system. Something that Nikito's file doesn't have, so I had to make this from scratch. I've included 3 main points in the general changes, which the entire EU community agreed with. The first one is runaway tactics. In Demon Slayer, it's very safe to play keep away and zone your opponent, and this makes it a game where once you have a health lead, you're not encouraged to finish your opponent. Instead, you're encouraged to run away and throw projectiles until the timer runs out. Everyone can play this style to a degree thanks to push block, but it's even more prevalent in demons because they can regenerate their health, and the ones that have free projectiles are an even bigger problem. My second point is maybe a little character specific because it has to do with poison. The poison system could use a buff overall because every character that has it kinda sucks. There are currently 2 ways to deny poison. You've got character switching and you've got boost or surge from demons. So buffing poison could help the characters that have it put it to better use. And I suggested that poison could, for instance, deplete health faster than it currently does, making it a lot more reliable. And I had a little note here saying that we don't have access to Gyutaro. If you change this, it might break the character, please don't. And my final general change has to do with parries. Since the game's launch, there have been a lot of characters released that have some long-range melee attacks. I'm talking Rui, I'm talking Enmu, I'm talking Daki, and I'm even talking Akaza. Now with his normal attacks, but with something like the Sworder, the man has really long range with that. And the parry just doesn't affect those characters the same way it affects others. As a community, we believe that as long as an attack is melee, meaning not a projectile, the parry should be effective. So you should be able to parry a max range the Sworder, you should be able to parry Enmu's attacks and Rui's. And that's it, 3 general changes that we'd like to see applied to the game as a whole. Runaway tactics, poison, and long range parries. And with that, let's nerf some characters. Let's start with the biggest culprit here, Akaza. If we go to Nikito's document, he has a few balance changes. He would like Annihilation to be unsafe, make Compass Needle parryable, take out the Compass Needle glitch, and nerf Akaza's meter gain. I personally think these are all very good changes, but like I said, we don't have a way to playtest this. So instead of giving them a block of balance changes, what I did instead was write a paragraph on why this character is very powerful. I think as a community, that's the best thing we could do. Show them the problem and let them figure out the solution. So for Akaza, what I did was something like this. Akaza is currently one of the strongest characters in the game because he can enforce his own playstyle against any opponent. Abilities like Annihilation and Disorder allow him to get in and overwhelm with offense because they're huge and completely safe. Not to mention, he has a level 3 dash speed, the fastest in the game. And abilities like Compass Needle and Air type allow him to play keep away for as long as he wants. Even if he gets caught, he can boost or search for the biggest healing in the game, and he usually has enough special meter available because he can generate a lot of it through his abilities. Akaza has everything, and something has to go. So I present a lot of problems here. I talk about Disorder, Annihilation, Compass Needle, Air type, almost every ability Akaza has. I also talk about his healing and his special meter generation, but I don't say that we should nerf all of these things. I say that the character has too much, and something needs to go. It's for them to figure out what. I also say that we detected the compass needle glitch that is often used for reset attempts. In these clips, Akaza recovers quickly from compass needle as if he got a hit on the opponent instead of the longer recovery he's supposed to have, like when the opponent blocks compass needle. And I think that pretty much covers everything on Akaza. Let's move on to Susanoo. Susanoo is pretty close to Akaza in terms of strength. She is the best in the game at playing keep away and always ready to punish an approach with piercing kick, her best ability for damage. Piercing kick, the non-charged version, is too safe to just throw out. Even on block, it's extremely hard to punish, and dodging it is nearly impossible because of the move's hitbox. This basically says, I'm okay with Susanoo being a zoner, but she can't get in for free and get a ton of damage. Not as safely as she does with piercing kick. Piercing kick is punishable, but it's really hard to do. Susanoo also has the lowest parry recovery in the game. No other character can chain parries like she does. Yeah, that parry has to go away. Nezuko is the most played Slayer in the game for being a solid character with a great assist. She's mostly accepted as being well balanced with the exception of flying kick. Hitting someone with a raw flying kick renders the opponent unable to escape. So you can always hit flying kick into ultimate, which adds a solid 50% plus damage, and it's inescapable. This is the only ability in the entire game that works like this. Basically saying, yo, flying kick bug, get rid of it. The community argues that perhaps she's picked so often because of her 1x damage multiplier, and increasing that to 1.10 or 1.15 could help us see more character variety. That's it. No one thinks Nezuko needs a big nerf. She's just a bit too solid overall, and we need to give her a little bit of a weakness. Zenitsu probably has the highest damage in the game, but the community loves it. That's his trademark at this point. However, a few things feel a bit unfair when trying to punish Zenitsu for picking the wrong option. The recovery on air spin feels too short on block or whiff. Very often, Zenitsu can hit you with a second hair spin as you're trying to punish the first. His grab is too fast, it's really hard to catch a whiffed grab even if you knew it was coming. And his reward isn't just the damage the grab deals. Since the grab has a slow knockdown effect on the opponent, Zenitsu can generate up to 2 bars every time he lands it. And those are the 4 characters that we're asking for nerfs. Now, are there more characters that require nerfs? Yeah, absolutely. But I think if we have too much stuff on this document, some of it is going to get ignored. So I focused on the big ones. Please keep that in mind as we look through the buffs too. And I didn't forget about Enmu. Enmu has his own special category. We'll get to him. First, let's buff some characters. Yushido is widely regarded as the weakest character in the game. While he has solid resets, his damage output is so low that he's required to reset you many times to do anything meaningful. Also, his guard skill, Debilitating Blow, has become too easy to counter thanks to how long the animation is. Characters usually have enough time to throw an invincible move, a parry, or a strong attack after seeing it. Mankomo is theoretically strong, but very weak in practice because everything she does is very inconsistent, especially her water wheel. It's very common for Mankomo to hit an opponent with a water wheel, but seeing your combo drop immediately, a problem that's not shared with other water wheels in the game. Furthermore, her guard skill, the Splashing Water Flow Flash, often clashes with other skills too. This being an ability with invulnerability frames makes it very frustrating whenever that happens. And she could also use a small damage buff. The main reason players stay away from Sabito is his Waterfall Basin assist. It always ends a combo, knocking the opponent down, and the damage on this assist isn't impressive enough to make it worth using. Ideally, this assist would work the same way as Tanjiro's Waterfall Basin. You know, slow crumple if the opponents are on the ground, opportunity to dash up if opponents are in the air, it would be so good. There's also some inconsistency with his jumping attacks depending on how far he is from his opponent. Here's a video for reference. Now I've included this video showing that, yeah, the attacks connect at a certain distance, and then the first attack whiffs, and then the second and third attack whiff. And it's weird. Making these attacks more consistent would expand Sabito's combo freedom, as his combo routes are generally considered very dull or wasteful. Lots of meter for barely any extra damage. I may have taken some liberty with this last sentence, but I really want to push for these jumping attacks. Inosuke is only a couple of adjustments away from being a really solid character. Boar Rush as it is should definitely be unsafe on block, however, it's often unsafe on hit. The opponent getting hit can get up and attack Inosuke before his recovery is done, and this should not be the case. Also, his 5th Fang Crazy Cutting skill is deceivingly short in range. It looks like an ability that should reach further than it does. Matching the hitbox to the visual effect would definitely go a long way for Inosuke. Shinobu used to be in a really good place before Demons came out. Now she has a lot of losing matchups. The poison change that I talked about at the start of this video could help her get to a better place, but it also feels like she takes too much damage for how strong she is. A slight buff to her damage multiplier could definitely help. Advanced Demon form Nezuko has a very distinct playstyle, which is something we love. She's a high damage dealer, encouraged to spend all she has because she generates a lot of special meter, so she can boost and get all of her resources back. It's very unique in this roster and the community loves it. However, she has a hard time applying pressure, as all of her skills are unsafe with push block. There isn't a single ability that can't be punished, and this makes her feel less oppressive. She either needs something safe, her frenzied kicks or exploding blood strike, or a faster dash speed to allow her to apply pressure with it. Gyu's signature move, Dead Calm, is garbage. I didn't say that, but I did think that. Dead Calm often doesn't work because it clashes with other moves. This being a counter, it doesn't make a lot of sense that other non-counter moves would clash with it. Dead Calm should simply win in that scenario. Gyu also struggles at applying pressure. He has a good close range tool with a fast water wheel, but that only serves to catch opponents by surprise, as he has no way to threaten a guarding opponent, thanks to his slow dash speed and a very slow grab, meaning push block is the right answer against Gyu about 90% of the time. And those are the buffs. I can see some people very angry I didn't include their character here. But I did say we were going to talk about Enmu, and I have a dedicated chapter to him, which is called Tricky Balance. I think you'll understand why once I read the paragraph. Enmu is one of the strongest characters in the game. I wanted to open with this because even though balancing this character is tricky, they should know that he's extremely powerful and have to be very careful balancing him. Enmu is one of the strongest characters in the game, but has a huge flaw that makes your game plan against him quite simple. He has a really hard time chasing opponents who zone him out and run away because of his slow dash speed. This means that as soon as you get the health lead on Enmu, it's easier to run away and time him out than to do anything else, because approaching Enmu is very hard. However, this doesn't have a simple solution, because making Enmu faster will make him too strong. He has damage, resets, zoning, he can do everything except chasing an opponent, which is why running away from him when you have a health lead is the best option. This is a tricky character to balance. I don't think Enmu should be stronger, but if people start running away from Enmu, there's nothing you can do, and that's just super frustrating. Enmu has to be able to chase down opponents, but you can't simply buff him because everything else he has is way too strong. And those are the balance changes. We do have one extra chapter called Bugs Detected. Bugs detected, bugs detected, which is a list of bugs that we encounter on a semi-regular basis and that we would like to see gone from the game. The first one is the double skill bug. Lots of characters share a bug where if they do a skill in the air, they will repeat the skill upon landing even if the player doesn't do any extra inputs. The most frequently observed bugs are on Hinokami Tanjiro's tilt skill, Tengen's skill, and Urokodaki's skill. I've included this video from Trader as an example because he's capturing his hands and the inputs and everything, and you can see that clearly he hasn't been pressing the triangle button for a while and Tanjiro just lands and does another tilt skill. Guard break combo drops. A guard break can make it so certain combos will drop when they work perfectly fine when there's no guard break present. Here's Urokodaki. Urokodaki doing one attack into waterfall base and works just fine, but after a guard break, that combo is gone. Murata is even funnier because if he's boosted, he can't even do more than 3 attacks in his combo string. Then we have the Yahaba parry. Perhaps because of the way Yahaba moves whenever he parries, this parry is inconsistent and sometimes just doesn't register. Here's a game with me and Ikido, and as you can see, he is parrying the Nezuko assist perfectly. He's even getting meter from the parry, but Nezuko keeps her attack going. And Ikido even takes some chip damage from this assist. And also the assist parry. With certain timings, parrying an active character along with an assist can be bad for you, as the assist will refresh your parry animation, allowing the active opponent to recover before you do. And I don't know if it happens frequently enough to be put on this document, but the community really asked to include this. They say it happens all the time, so I have to believe them. And this is the document I'm sending over to my guy. This is the document representing the community's wishes for a balance patch. But there's still time. If you guys would like to include anything else, leave it in the comments. I will read the comments and consider including it on the list. Fingers crossed for this balance patch. I hope it goes through. This is a really good start. We have successfully completed the mission and now it's out of our hands. Godspeed, mystery guy. Godspeed. And as always, thank you very much for watching. My name is Globku and I'll see you next time. Bye.